Hello, my name is Nicholas Feldman, and this is my plan for communicating with you. Before we get started, let me briefly tell you about myself. I love history, including teaching the subject, so it'll be a joy to have you in my class this semester. I dropped out of school at age 15, but ended up enrolling at my local community college a decade or so later. I earned an associate's degree from Phoenix College and was the valedictorian in my class. I then earned a bachelor's degree from Arizona State University with minors in public policy and religious studies. I'm currently working on a master's degree in history from Grand Canyon University. Now, the purpose of this video, is to tell you, my students, how I plan to communicate effectively with you and what you can expect from me. First, I will go over a few strategies that I will use to foster effective communication. Second, we will talk about challenges to communication in higher education. Third, we will discuss how I plan to resolve interpersonal conflict. Finally, we will wrap up by talking about why I think communication is important to your success. So let's get started. First, let's talk about how I plan to foster effective communication. Empathy is a major part of my plan for communicating with you. Empathy, or putting yourself in another person's shoes and trying to understand their perspective, is the cornerstone of innovation, business, and even education or teaching. My goal is to try to get to know you and understand your perspective as much as possible. I think this will help in our communication with each other. Another part of my plan for fostering effective communication is I will be open to communication via multiple means. An instructor definitely needs to use different types and methods of communication. I plan to use at least one tool outside of our learning management system for regular communication. I also provide you with a hierarchy for contacting me in the syllabus and on my bio page. However, I will do my best to communicate with you by your preferred method if possible. Another important part of my plan for fostering effective communication is your questions. Instructors need to provide opportunities for questions, that's for sure. Your questions will always be welcomed and answered in a timely manner by me. The second part of how I plan to effectively communicate with you is by dealing with the challenges that we face. Communication is a science of its own and can be difficult, especially online where we usually can't see each other and giveaways like body language. For instructors like myself, we need to be as clear and concise as possible while avoiding confusion. I'll try to keep my messages short and to the point. You can also count on me to always be courteous when communicating with you. At the same time, sometimes an instructor can be too clear. Instructors use strategic ambiguity to promote critical thinking and discussion. That way, you as students do the heavy lifting when it comes to learning. This strategic ambiguity in my communication and instructions will give you the freedom to learn. Again, feel free to ask questions and I will do my best to point you in the right direction. The next part of my communication strategy is by answering this question. What do we do when conflict arises, whether it's between me and you or you and another student? Conflict can be constructive and lead to better collaboration and problem solving. If a problem comes up, we need to focus on the problem and not the personal. One of the best things that we can do is bring the conflict out into open and be honest with each other. We can resolve conflict by listening to each other and acknowledging the other person's position. If you have a problem with me, the course, or another student, I will be here to listen, acknowledge, and respect your point of view. I expect you to listen and acknowledge your fellow students' perspectives as well. Finally, why does communication matter? Because I want you to be successful and I want to create a positive classroom environment. There are two types of effective communication in the classroom. One is communication for achieving academic goals. If I provide clear and concise communication while giving you the freedom to learn, while responding to your questions in a timely manner, it will be easier for you to achieve success and reach your academic goals in this course. The second is effective communication for building positive relationships. Research shows that positive emotions and feelings promote cognitive learning and student motivation. We will resolve any conflict together. I will listen and acknowledge your point of view. You can expect me to always be empathetic to you and your perspective. Effective communication will create the positive classroom environment that you need to get the most out of this course.